welcome to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here with a pick a card reading for you, so get cozy. We're going to have a little chat today because we're all friends when we gather around my table. I want to take a moment to acknowledge my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you so much for your beautiful comments. You guys are so vulnerable in the comment section, and I really appreciate your presence here. And as a thank you, I do offer a chance to win a free reading, so be sure to drop that comment below and to hit your notification bell. And you can leave a comment beneath any of my readings this month for your chance to win. And just be sure to drop your comment with the notification bell turned on so that I can notify you via the comment section if you are chosen the winner. I do not send unsolicited DMs to anybody's Instagram DMs or anywhere on YouTube, so be sure to protect yourself from people posing as the Tarot Cottage. If you win the free reading, I will be notifying you underneath your comment and give you clear indications on how to reach out to me. So be sure to check your old comments as well in case you have missed a notification from me as well, because I'm waiting to hear back from some recent winners. So for today's pick a card topic, we are looking at a no contact situation, a soulmate and separation situation as well. And we are looking at a no contact situation and asking, what are their current feelings for you? And are you ever going to get closure? Are you ever going to have a conversation where these feelings are going to be able to be expressed? Will you ever receive closure from your soulmate in separation? We do have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 with the star here and the amber. Pile number 2 with the Page of Wands and the blue stone. I don't remember what the name of this is called, so if you know what this is, please drop me a comment below. Pile number 3 with the Hanged Man and the red stone. I believe that's the red agate. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be messages waiting from Spirit today. My timestamps are listed below. We want to welcome any new subscribers this month as well. Be sure to drop your comments as well. And anybody new coming into the channel for the very first time, we would love to have you join our soul family as well by subscribing to the channel, hitting your notification bell, and dropping me a comment for your chance to win a free reading. But for today's topic, your soulmates in separation, their current feelings. Will you ever get closure? Will there ever be a conversation between the two of you? Pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3, and I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Hello, pile 1, you are drawn to the Ember, and you are also drawn to the Star element, and this is your reading. Your soulmate and separation. What are their current thoughts? Will you ever get closure from this connection? Now, I kept hearing key player when I saw the Star, and there's a sense of you being a key player in this person's experience, playing a very profound role for their awakening. There's even a message here. They're playing that Demi Lovato song where she says, I was your amber, now she's your shade of gold. So it's like an awakening energy that comes in revelations or in reflections of you from this person. You could also kind of match energies here. You could also feel very influenced by this connection. You could look at this connection like it was a turning point in your past where things shifted or changed for you. There's also an aspect of connectivity and perhaps gazing at you on the internet. Like there's an internet vibe that comes through here. You could be keeping tabs on them or attempting to, and vice versa. There's also a vulnerability with the Star of like feeling like there's been a while or a long time that we've had to maintain our distance or just keep you in a wishful energy. It's like wishing and wanting for something more. Feeling like they wasted an opportunity with you or wasted time. But what are their current feelings, your soulmate in separation, their current feelings about you? We're also going to look and see today whether or not there's going to be any type of closure between the two of you. Will there be contact in the future to close out the connection or to express ourselves in some way? What you can expect in the future as a resolution. But currently, Spirit, what are their current feelings in no contact with pile number 1, please? We have the 4 of Swords coming out first for you. And I do sense them watching you. Even here, this looks like a Black Panther that's curled up sleeping. Like the Black Panther, whenever I see a Black Panther, I think of something observing me from the darkness, and I'm not aware of it. I don't know that it's watching me. But there's also almost like a sixth sense, or like you can feel someone's gaze on you, and even when you're being watched, you can feel someone on you. So perhaps you can feel their energy or they can feel your energy. But there's definitely somebody who's watching the other person here. And they're kind of defensive with what they see sometimes. It sometimes will influence them in ways that make them feel a little bit of a sting. So if there's something going on in your life, if you know, when we see people living their best lives online, we always project the best of ourselves online. So they're seeing you in your glory, or they're seeing you in an abundant situation, and that triggers them because it stings that they're not there with you, or they're not a part of that life. They take pause to think about you a lot. Like, you do represent something really big, a big moment in their life, a big opportunity. Here's the Six of Wands. They act very abundant. They act like they don't feel this way. And there's a certain amount of, like, they've grown up a little bit, so it's like they've acknowledged that I had freedom of choice. So it's not like they're throwing you under the bus and saying you're to blame for this disappointment that they experience about this connection, because they do feel disappointed in what has happened here between the two of you. But they're acknowledging, you know, we both had freedom of choice. It's like I had freedom of choice too. We have the Five of Pentacles. And look at how the diamond is split in two. The pearls of wisdom, the pearls that are now kind of loosening on the chain and falling off. And they're showing me somebody who's slipping on those pearls now. It's like tripping myself up. The Five of Pentacles is acknowledging the separation between the two of you, and how much there's almost like a pressurized system, because they're showing the diamond, and diamonds are forged under pressure. This pressurized system that they still feel despite the separation. And it almost feels like knowledge that is going to waste. It's like the way that I feel that is going to waste. There is a concern about practical things that separate us. So this could be other relationships, this could be time, this could be space, this could be, you know, countries, environments. But they are highlighting the mutuality of the two of you being kind of in the same position, in this in-between, separated. And they're playing that song, you know, what's it called? Season of the Sticks, where they say, I'm split in half, and that'll have to do. It's like they have sort of surrendered to how things are in this moment. Like, this is going to just have to do. I'm split in half, but that's just the way that it is. And I knew better. That's the thing that I feel like really frustrates them, is that they always had a feeling about you, or they knew better. They should, but they didn't know better. That's the problem, is that their awareness grew with them. And even if they had an inkling in the past, they didn't have the experience, or they were ill-equipped to apply that truth to the situation. But now they're kicking themselves because they're saying, I knew better. I could feel that this was something important. We have the Ace of Cups. And there's a line from that one song that says, missing you comes in waves. And here's this wave and this cup, this Ace of Cups energy. And the Ace of Cups is new emotional starts, and new perspectives and new shifts, and perhaps they've moved into some of these things. And yet here we have the tentacles of the octopus that's holding on to the cup. I think of the suckers from the past that bring us back down into the depths. But they're also highlighting the intelligence of the octopus, and somebody who feels like they should have known better. Like they should have known better than to restrict themselves in the past, or wear masks with you in the past. They feel like they've really grown in awareness. We have the Hermit, Virgo energy. And we have the Ace of Swords, the Black Swan, and here's the Fool. Because even with the Ace of Swords, I often say, you know, we can't get to the Ace of Swords until we go through that entire cycle that leads us through the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords, which is so limiting and almost obsessive in some of these thoughts. Limiting. And like they've come to these conclusions that still sting. You know, it's like they've grown up, but it still stings. They wish that they hadn't been such a follower, I'm hearing. It's like they felt like they kind of followed expectations, or they were a follower, or they didn't express themselves the way that they were supposed to. And they're still acknowledging that there's still some challenges to overcome. But they still have so much that they would like to say. And what they want to say is the expression of this Empress energy and the abundance that you did represent. And they didn't know better then. They keep blaming themselves, but they didn't know better then. They know better now. But they still feel like now it requires careful handling because of the practicalities of everything in your lives. That doesn't mean that there isn't a plan or some type of intention to some type of clarity or closure. And we're going to see if there's going to be any of that coming forward in the future. But the reality for this person and what they're feeling and experiencing in this separation from you is that they've come to this conclusion. This entire journey has led them back to the reality that stings, because the reality was obvious from the beginning of how abundant you are. King of Wands, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius coming through. A lot of Aquarius today, a lot of Virgo. And I just heard like eternal flame. And they're playing like an 80s song. I don't even know the name of it. It's like Turn Around, something. I don't know, but it's like Eternal Flame, that 80s song, the Eternal Flame. That's what they're playing. So this could even be like a time frame for someone watching. I will say they can't stop ruminating about it. Again, we're going here to the Ace of Swords. This is like the back of deck energy. The reality that stings. They're still presently stuck in this Nine of Swords and dealing with the reality of the separation. And in this moment, I have to be honest, they don't know if there's a solution to overthinking about you. It's like, it's so present in them. It's such a habit that they've formed that they don't know how to break out of that. And I also want to say that they didn't know what love was in the past. They know what that feels like now. They know what love is, and they do apply some of that love to you. They do feel like they sometimes have to turn their back on it purposefully in order to just get their jobs done, to be order to kind of live and move through life. It's like they have to deny it. But that feels very devastating. And as I said, we have to go through the 9s and the 10s to get to the Ace. We have to go through and then it's interesting that the 9 and the 10 together is the Sun energy. This is the sun, the clarity of the sun, the full spectrum, that it's almost like we had to go through the fire to see the full spectrum. And the full spectrum doesn't leave us feeling very empowered either. It's like I've come to learn this huge lesson associated with you, and it doesn't leave me feeling empowered, because now things just are what they are, especially in a practical sense. So whatever they're observing about your life gives them reason to think that either they don't have space for momentum at this moment, or you don't have space for it in your life. And this could just be upon like some type of assumption that they're making, but that's what they're thinking, because things are left uncertain and unsaid, and there's a lack of closure here. It's like I may have walked away, but I didn't empower myself in doing so, and I have so much more that I want to say. And the other message, like I walked away to empower myself, but I'm still waiting for it. I'm still waiting for that to catch up to me, the empowerment to catch up to me. What are their current feelings, secret thoughts, please, about pile number 1? We have the Crow. And so much more that they want to express to you. So many things that have gone unsaid. The desire for closure is very, very heavy here in this pile 1. We have the chakra systems, the stingray. And the truth is that as we go through our sort of awareness, as we live and grow in our awareness, the truth reveals itself in sometimes a very painful way. The stingray can sometimes kill. It can sting. We have here Nightingale and the wolf, lone wolf, the elk. They sometimes will tell themselves that they are alone in this, even though I feel like it's very mutual. They tell themselves that they're alone in it. And it could just be easier for them to handle thinking that they're alone in it. But they do have this desire to sing something, to express something to you. And I'm hearing that song, Sing Sweet Nightingale, like Cinderella, like somebody who is going through almost like a servitude. It's like they're having to suffer through this and sort of go through this servitude period when it comes to this connection that they feel with you. Because they do have a really strong sense of saying, you know, it just feels like it is what it is. And they're taking the responsibility of creating that situation. How do they truly feel, please, about their soulmate and separation in this moment? I can't make up my mind. 2 of Wands. And that could have been coming from the past. And now that same application is being applied today because they don't know what to do about it. Maybe they couldn't make up their mind about which path they wanted to take in the past, or it was easier to fantasize about you than it was to make it real. It says here, I know that I hurt you. It says, I'm not waiting a second longer. And they're feeling the pressure of that, of disappointment. Sometimes the Three of Swords can indicate third party. So if you've moved on, if they've moved on, you feel so far away. Emotionally, physically, the Star of Aquarius. Something that they still crush on or hope for. It's easier to fantasize than it is to make it real. But I want to look you in the eyes because the truth came after. What do you even see in me? I feel like they're also curious about whether or not you actually felt the attraction the way that they felt it as well. How do they currently feel, please, about their soulmate and separation for pile number 1? I have so much to tell you. 6 of Swords. I did see I'm stuck right now. Do you want me to? And I spend a lot of time daydreaming about you. We do have third-party interference for someone watching. That doesn't have to resonate with everyone. But it feels like we've had some time here in no contact. There is something so special about you. Reach out to me, please. We can't deny that there's a certain amount of helplessness that does come in with this specific version of the Ten of Swords, where the sunlight isn't even coming in. It's a state of gray. I know that I messed up back then. Back of the deck says, you don't know what you do to me, on the back of that deck. Now we're going to ask Spirit here about the future of this connection. Where will there ever be closure in the future of this connection? And if so, what will that look like? Will there ever be a conversation? We have the King of Wands. A lot of Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Queen of Cups, or I'm sorry, Queen of Pentacles. I do feel like this person is watching you, or they have some type of knowledge about what's going on in your life in this moment. And I feel like they are hesitant to create any type of upheaval for you in this moment, specifically if you have moved into family energies or new relationships. They do not want to give up the hope that there could be more, or there could be some type of conversation here in the situation. We have the Hanged Man. Back of the deck is the Judgment. 5 of Cups, 10 of Swords. For the time being, this person doesn't, they desperately want, I feel like desperately want some type of clarity or closure in this situation. The problem is that they're still hopeful about the situation. So the closure that they are seeking doesn't actually really communicate like closure. It communicates like a bit of a backdraft energy. There's an acknowledgement here of some red tape that gets in the way of our closure even. If the closure represents red tape, they feel like there's even more red tape to get through before they can get to that closure energy. And there's a feeling about them not wanting to create havoc for you, but that's also speculating upon their own fear of vulnerability. It's like it's convenient for them to say, you know, I don't want to make anything go awry in your life. It's easy for them to say that when the truth is that they actually are afraid to step forward in this moment. Here with the Judgment, there's the 5 of Cups. When they think about the closure, they think about what they're going to lose, or they think about the loss, and they stop at that point. It's like they can't see through that to implement the change of the clarity that they're looking for, which is why they perhaps asked you to reach out to them because they do want a communication, they do want clarity, but they don't feel like they're capable of bringing it forward in this moment. And they could be using excuses as to why they're not capable in this moment, but they just don't feel like they're able to, so they may not be able to execute the closure that they feel like is needed here. The truth is that they still hold on to hope. So would it actually represent true closure? Advice for pile 1, please, for the soulmate and separation on their mind. We have the snake, the healer. You are a healer. It's interesting to me that this snake here, this cobra, is at attention and he's still all curled up. So there's a defensive energy coming forward. This defense is actually, the Spirit's speculating about this defense being kind of about their awakening too. So the healing energy says that we heal ourselves and then we extend that lighthearted energy to other people. So if there's going to be any type of clarity or closure in the future of this connection, it may have to be you who steps forward to offer this if you want it to come in a timely way. Back of the deck we have productiveness, just go ahead and do it. Take the leap of faith. But they also want you to spend some time reflecting upon what your desired outcome is here. Is the desired outcome clarity and closure? Or is there still hope lingering in your heart as well? Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. The very last thought they had about pile number 1, their soulmate and separation. What were they thinking? Queen of Swords, 4 of Cups. They were thinking about like being ignored by you, being overlooked by you. There is a sense of struggle with that. That could be why they're prioritizing their inability to reach out and the necessity for you to, because it's so much easier for other people to fall on that sword than for us to do it ourselves. So they were like really thinking about how you feel and whether or not you feel anything for them in this moment. And they were kind of applying a reason to it, like saying, well, they haven't reached out to me, so maybe they don't feel anything for me anymore. Again, that just feels like a bit of an excuse to stop themselves from the determination to plow through their own obstacles. We have the letters Y and R in the bowl. We also have here a religious charm, a Catholic charm. It has Saint Anthony with baby Jesus in his arms. So children could be a factor. The name Anthony or Tony could be an important factor here. Catholicism, he's the patron saint of impossible causes or lost things. We also have a commandment from the Bible that says, "Thou shalt not make graven images." For me, that's my charm that talks about putting somebody up on a pedestal, and it's like they can't fall from that pedestal. It kind of makes it hard to rise to that expectation, though. We do have Aries energy and make transformation with the butterfly. We also have the potential of the pine cone here. We have a couple of cards that are kind of dingy and falling apart, but they are the 10 of Wands. This could be an indication, too, of a lengthy period of time where we have desired something. We have the 7 of Wands, too, emphasizing the Star of Aquarius. No communication coming in from the Divine Feminine as well. They're highlighting that with the small owl. And we have the scissors. I think of the 2 of Swords. They are the red-handled scissors, which is speaking of empowerment and making decisions to empower ourselves. Pile number 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it does, drop your comment below for a chance to win a reading with me. Be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below as well. And I do update that shop daily, so keep checking back. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the blue stone. I think it's a lapis lazuli, but please take that as it resonates. If you know what that stone is, please leave me a comment below. You're also drawn to the Page of Wands, and this is your reading. So the person in no contact from you, the soulmate in separation, what are their current feelings, their thoughts, and is there any intention to create closure in the situation? Will you get any closure from this person or more information from this person in the future? This Page of Wands energy is all about thirst and desire and want. There's this feeling of this imprint. This is the tattoo tarot that I was using for you today, but they're speaking about the imprint that you've left. And even with sort of the imprint of like information that never got said or never got expressed, they're just showing me that unopened envelope on the back of the hand. And knowing what I want to say, like completely, because now they're saying I know it like the back of my hand. I know exactly what I want to say. I know exactly what I should have done, like the back of my hand, because I've had plenty of time to think about this or rehearse it in some way. So there's lots of thirst here. Sometimes thirst makes us go looking for that quenching, looking for the inspiration. Now, what are their current feelings and thoughts towards pile number 2, their soulmate and separation? It's no contact situation, please. What are they currently thinking and feeling? The World is here. It's unfinished. The Chariot. And they're really showing me this. They always show this to me as like a ninja star. And today they're showing the ninja star like pinning somebody up against a wall. And yet the Chariot's supposed to be about momentum and movement. And you can see that both horses are kind of looking back at each other, like there's uncertainty, there's an emotional wave that comes with the Chariot. And yet it's like it's pinned me against the wall. Ten of Pentacles. And the other thing that could have pinned them against the wall here could be new commitment cycles, which leave them unable to listen to the notes of their own intuition. We have the King of Wands, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. And it feels like a huge evolution here. It feels like we may have started with a page, or they knew you when they were a page, and now they've entered this new phase of life. But some things never change. Some inspirations never change. We have the Lovers coming out with the Four of Swords. Back of the deck is the Knight of Swords. And there's the Ace of Swords, because this Knight, the Knight of Swords, he's a communication knight. He likes to charge forward with what he believes to be true. He likes to charge forward with his truth. And you can see here now he's opening up this book. It's like, I am an open book, or I've learned my lesson in some way. It took me some time to get there, to have this reality set in. They thought that they were scot-free for a while. They didn't think that this would influence them as heavy as it has. In this moment, it took them a while to experience the truth. And the truth does hurt. The truth does sting. It feels like they're almost surprised by it in some way. Because now they have so much that they feel like they left unsaid, that they feel like is critical for them to move on. We have the 777, and there's a risk analogy of like, I should have taken the chance, I should have taken the gamble, I should have said something at the time, but it was a little too late, or I am a little bit too late. And they feel that way. Like they do feel that you are maybe frustrated with them, or they are intimidated to bring forward some of that closure. And they're showing me like those old paintings of Jesus on the wall, which could be significant for you, where he's pointing at his heart, at his sacred heart, and he's like showing this is the way, the truth, and the life. So this could be important for you as far as like a religious person, or somebody who is very stuck in their religion in some way. But they're also talking about having to look into the heart to see the truth of this person's feelings, even at the time, perhaps as well in this moment. We have the Wheel of Fortune. They really thought that their feelings for you in the past would be temporary, but you have become sort of a staple. And it's interesting, the analogy that they're showing, when you have a car trip that you've taken a lot, you've taken a car trip over and over and over again, and in your mind you have rest stops available to you. You know which rest stops you stop at, and you stop at every single rest stop every time you take this car trip. You are kind of being referenced as that rest stop. They keep going back to a moment with you. They keep going back to an opportunity with you that maybe they didn't completely clean out the car or gas themselves up with enough confidence. They just keep going back to the same checkpoints, and you are at that checkpoint every single time. This person does really feel like things could have gone completely different in their life if they had just listened to their heart at that time. And I feel like they've built a lot for themselves. I feel like Ten of Pentacles could mean that their career is going amazing, that their family is doing well. Like, I feel like there is abundance in their life, but there's still this restlessness of like, did I make the right decision here? Especially when it comes to parties and people, did I make the right choice here? because they're showing me a roast turkey. And the turkey is a symbol for me of somebody who's behaving stupidly or not behaving in a smart way. And it's like it's roasted. So it's like I'm done. It's like I'm roasted here. Of the Three of Swords. And I can't deny that they feel really disappointed in themselves and in the situation as well. And I also can't deny pile number 2 that this person has moved into other relationships potentially. And these environments, as I said, they look abundant, they look like they have empowered them, and yet they still feel vulnerable. It could be very practically fulfilling, but there's still an emotional vulnerability that they feel associated with you that keeps them thinking. And I just heard, I've waited, that song from Celine Dion, I waited for so long for a miracle to come. I feel like they fulfilled certain desires when it comes to family and position. But even though they ticked off all the boxes in life that they should have ticked off, they want to know why it's still raining for them. And they apply that downpour to you and the disappointment, like that benchmark of failure, they apply that to you. It's like, I have everything, I should be satisfied with what I have, and yet I still feel thirsty. Why am I still thirsty? You are the inspiration. They wonder if you're the one that can quench that thirst. The Three of Wands. Now, as it often projects itself in these readings, when we're dealing with closure and we're dealing with whether or not that closure is going to come in, closure is a very tricky monster sometimes. Sometimes it's not closure that we're looking for. The Page of Wands, the Three of Wands, that's not somebody looking for closure. So, but I also feel like this Three of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, gets in the way of their empowerment, whether it's closure or not, and it doesn't feel like closure to me. We have here the Two of Wands with the Two of Cups in the reversal. We also have the Strength, Leo energy coming forward. Very strong in this moment. We also have the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. Now, the reality is that this person still has a crush on you, and that's taking it lightly. I don't want to even, that feels like it's minimizing the intensity of the connection. That's applying it lightly, this crush energy. They have a lot to be grateful for in the present moment. Spirit doesn't want to deny that, but you represent this benchmark of what they call emotional failure. Because they may have a lot of stuff and a lot of security, but they feel something lacking in their life. Now there's a feeling of stalling when it comes to relationships with you, holding back, frustrating delays, and they want to blame fear. They don't want to say that they didn't feel anything because they did. They want to blame fear here in the situation. But they also hesitate to honestly make decisions about their reality here because they don't want to create arguments and conflicts within already standing present relationships, whether they're yours or whether they belong to them. How do they currently feel, please? No contact. We have gavel, involvement with the law, and you should accept valid criticism. And the gavel here, I feel like his position is the justice. It says you should accept valid criticism. The cup comes in with this sense of healing. The cup is supposed to heal us, help us rest. It's like the Four of Swords. And yet what we've received in that healing in our reality has sort of made us criticize our own decisions. It's almost as if they feel like they deserve the consequences of their actions here. We have someone that's going to try to make you do something against your will. The Club. We have dogs, getting together with friends, an announcement. We have Mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. And that's the thing, is that they still consider you a friend. I feel like if they wanted more, if this was just a friendship, it was not supposed to be a friendship. They might call you a friendship in the dynamic of this situation that they're in presently. But it's like they're waiting for the pendulum to swing. It's like they're waiting for a turn of events in their favor so that they can have more advancement. It's like they're defensive with the Club about the reasons why they want the closure. They could be telling, again, themselves that they want closure, but Spirit sees something different. Spirit sees sees the truth, sees their true desire of expansion, of heat, of fire. We have here the sea serpent. You have definitely acted as an inspiration to help them revisit every decision that they've made in their life, because you make them rethink everything. And there's an emphasis on like the beginnings of time and past life connection. And we have here the black egg, wondering if the opportunity has expired. And ultimately, the opportunity could expire. This egg could go bad if they continue to stall and delay. But we're going to look into it in a moment, whether or not you're going to receive closure or clarity in the situation. They are concerned about the loss of material wealth, but they would not be adverse to something rising out of the ashes. This is not closure. This is the phoenix rising. This is a rebirth. This is taking what we've kind of lost and trying to create something more out of it. Something different, something more, something bigger. So they are acknowledging the lack of closure, but honestly in this pile too, it doesn't feel like they're that interested in the closure aspect of the situation. How do they truly feel in no contact? The soulmate in separation, please. For pile number 2. The sexual thoughts that run through my mind. The Page of Wands, the strength energy. It's like I'm taming the dragon or taming the lion so I don't give in to that. I never meant to hurt you. It wasn't you, it was me. And I do want us to be in a relationship. I've thought about living together. It definitely doesn't feel like closure in this situation at this point. My nerves have been getting the best of me. It says, I love you. I have been astral projecting to you. And back of deck says, I've been receiving your telepathic messages as well. I know that we're being spiritually guided in this present moment. So there is a feeling of perhaps even frustrating delays coming in the future of this situation. What are their current feelings and secret thoughts, please, towards pile number 2? My life is not as together as it seems. I'm going to put that right in the center underneath that 10 of Pentacles, because from the outside, the 10 of Pentacles looks pretty sturdy. I hope that you can forgive me one day. I remember every detail of that day. I regret lying to you. I left when I saw you with someone, and I do feel like there could be third-party interference here at this present moment. I feel you leaving me behind, and I remember every detail of that day. I hide behind material things in the present moment. So let's take a look and see. Will pile 2 receive any closure or clarity in the future of this connection? On the floor, we do have the 7 of Cups coming in the reversal. Strength. 5 of Wands. 2 of Cups. I just saw the Wheel of Fortune flipped into the reversal. We have the 8 of Cups. Back of the deck we have the Knight of Wands and the 10 of Wands. The truth is that I do feel a strong momentum propelling this forward. And the truth is that if you've watched this channel before, you kind of probably already have an idea of how I read. I do read a little bit differently than other readers, and I have this, my first position card tells me a lot. This 7 of Cups reverse is in reverse. So there's more that's going to be perhaps revealed to you, or there's like illusions or assumptions that we're making that are going to be restored or reframed in some way. There is more clarity coming, and it feels like we kind of go against our better interest to achieve it. It could feel like, truthfully, that we're not listening to either our higher self or our ego, but here these two people have their hands in their ears, their fingers are in their ears, and we have this crossroads energy. So I believe you're going to cross paths again. I do. I feel like there's an intention coming from this person to cross paths with you, but it also feels like they're waiting to wrap something up. They could be waiting for you to walk away from something. They could be walking away from something themselves, but their intention is that more is going to be revealed. They even showed me like Viking energy with her hat. They just showed me a Viking, and they showed how the Vikings would, you know, go after what they wanted. They would just go into the villages. They would burn them down. So there is a sense here of kind of being on the fence of defense, whether I'm defending something or I'm part of that Viking aggression. It's like we get a crossroads between the two of us, and against our better interests, perhaps we do clarify things. There's even an emphasis on the Eight of Cups and the Two of Cups, and together that's the Ten of Cups of clarity. So there is more clarity to come here. I feel like this person, again, the page, the fiery page, hands it over to the Knight of Wands, and then sometimes the Knight of Wands is really impulsive. So I feel like in times of discord in current relationships, this person could reach out to you, or vice versa. You could reach out to them, but I do feel like there's going to be more clarity. I don't feel like the clarity will magically eradicate the obstacles. So there will still also be obstacles associated with that clarity, but Spirit says you're going to get some type of communication or clarity here. They aren't necessarily calling it closure. They're saying more of this going to come to light. Any illusions that we're having will be restored to truth, and the truth will showcase the obstacles at that time, because there's still going to be some burdens of the unknown associated here, because there's some realities that just are, that we're going to have to perhaps release or deal with at that time. But Spirit says there's more to come here. There's more clarity. And with that clarity can bring in, again, more solutions for the obstacles, but it will highlight the obstacles as well. So your guides are just letting you know about the potential of that future. So it doesn't feel over here. You have here having a backup plan, strategy with the possum. The possum gets paralyzed by fear. And so there's still going to be more, but we might need a backup plan. This connection could feel like to them a backup plan to their current investment in the present moment. We have go ahead and just do it, productiveness. And they're showing here take time to play, the dolphin. So this is like Three of Cups, reunion energies, pal, too. Again, you may feel inspired to reach out to them. They may feel inspired to reach out to you, but there's going to be more, but we're also perhaps going to have to apply a strategy or a backup plan to the obstacles that could still be in place here towards further momentum. Or perhaps the desire from your end is just closure, and then you'll shut down any intention that they may have at that time. But your guides are going to be walking with you at that time as well. Let's get a charm bowl, please. The last thought this person had about pile 2 in no contact. Soulmate and separation. Seven of Swords. They were really thinking about the past, actually. And they weren't quite being honest with themselves about that past. They were kind of in a bit of a victim mentality about the past and about their present position, perhaps. It's like they don't want to look like a traitor to their current environment, and that's why they don't come forward at this moment. But they're also not being honest about what actually holds them back. They are afraid of the change that would come in with all of that upheaval. We have the chain of attachment coming out. So I think of Capricorn energy. We have beautiful music together and the crescent moon. So that's my symbol for the high priestess. Listening to the notes of intuition. We do have teddy bear. I do feel like family or children energies could be applied here. And we also have the hatchet. Again, the tree of life, the letter C and V. We have the honeybee, sweet results that await when we self-sacrifice. King of Wands, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Really strong Leo element here today. And we have the star, I think of Aquarius energy, healing. And we have the horse, freedom of choice. I think of the chariot being pulled in different directions. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I do update that shop daily, so keep checking back. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You are drawn here to the red agate. You're also drawn to the Hanged Man, and this is your reading. Your soulmate in separation, no contact. What are their current feelings, and will you ever receive closure in this connection or clarity in this connection? Now, the Hanged Man here, this major arcanic theme, these thoughts that are running through the crown of this Hanged Man, they can either empower us or disempower us. And it's no sort of mystery why the Hanged Man is kind of in this pose where his legs are crossed. He sometimes looks like a number 4. His arms are behind his back. It's not that they're helpless. It's that they sometimes feel hopeless, perhaps, in this situation. But that's determined upon whether or not they're going to allow these thoughts to empower them or disempower them. There is a sense of like putting a pin in something, and it's like waiting for later to deal with that pin. And it's like the pin is in the red rose. So they're speaking about the empowerment. It's like putting a pin in something until I have enough empowerment. But now there's like all of these thorns growing on the rose stem as well. For some reason, they're emphasizing brown hair, so please take that as it resonates. But they're talking about the thorns amidst the roses to get to a point of action. It's like maybe I had to go through this period of time to even be able to recognize or reveal to myself the truth of what this connection means to me. And it feels like it's very two-sided. It feels like this connection feels very two-sided in all of these dynamics, both empowering and also disempowering, depending on the thoughts that we allow in. Pile number 3. What are their current feelings and secret thoughts of you in no contact at this time? The 8 of Swords. Coming out with the Death card. This is the Impressionist Tarot. The Emperor. The Ten of Pentacles. It's a very similar energy to pile number 2, actually, with the Ten of Pentacles here. The Three of Swords. The Three of Wands. Back of deck is the Nine of Pentacles. And we have the Queen of Wands. And there's a reference here about them keeping the divine feminine waiting. So if you reference or if you resonate with the divine feminine energy, they've referenced kind of keeping you waiting for something, keeping you waiting for the clarity, keeping you waiting for the truth in this situation. I feel like this person got easily distracted by career evolution in their life, maybe relationships, family. We have the Three of Pentacles. And I keep getting this tortured artist message coming from Van Gogh here. And there is a certain amount of creative accountability that comes along with that. Like he's, you know, life is a canvas. They've created the situation for themselves. They've built for themselves, perhaps. And again, very similar energies to pile 2. So you could have messages waiting for you there. And it'll be interesting to see if this pile actually results in the same energy as pile 2 as well. So I'm interested to see how this pans out. Because this person can't stop torturing themselves with the details. And I keep hearing the devil's in the details. They can't stop torturing themselves about the details because they put themselves in this situation and they know that. They're taking that creative accountability seriously. That doesn't mean it stops them from kind of putting themselves into a victim mentality though. It's like they had to go through this to realize that there's a spiritual aspect to your love or spiritual aspect to your connection that makes them feel vulnerable. And there's the Hanged Man again, Three of Swords. And the truth is that they're blaming their inability to create closure or clarity with you up to this point on their circumstance, other people. They're not adverse to blaming themselves, but they include themselves in a great big group of reasons why they haven't been able to move forward. They are afraid of losing you, despite the fact that they may have felt like they've already lost you, or maybe they already have, but they are afraid of losing you. But that this fear, I feel like they kept themselves safe in the harbor for a really long time in this connection. And maybe you grew tired of that approach. You grew tired of them flirting, but doing nothing about it. Or being in a relationship and not progressing it. Here's the Ten of Wands. But even to this day, we have the Eight of Swords and the not the Ten of Swords, the Eight of Swords and the Death. We have the Three of Wands with the Ten of Wands. Together, that's the 13 of the death cycle. So they are hesitating to release you, hesitating to release the obstacles that get in the way, that separate the two of you. Because with the death energy, nothing gets destroyed, it just gets rebranded in a different sense. It's like maybe they have this Ten of Pentacles, maybe it represents their life, their relationships, their family, and maybe that has to come to a close before they can actually give themselves permission to expand with you, and that's what they're waiting on. It's like, I've surrendered to this environment, I've surrendered to this situation, but I'm waiting for solutions to come in so I can have solutions in this situation. But the problem is that this person looking in the window or in the mirror isn't reflecting themselves back at themselves, which means that they're not being authentic or honest with themselves about that position. They're letting those distractions in because it feels easier than it is to step away from this Eight of Swords and the prison that I've invented for myself. It's like, this isn't a prison. I put myself here willingly. So there's a hesitation to look in the mirror and be honest, which creates a sort of a perpetual wait for the Divine Feminine. And there's the Tower. The Tower representing what they have invested in up to this point, but also the Tower representing the epiphanies that have come in with all of these thoughts of you. We can't help but have productive truths come through this head crown and head space, as well as right along with those negative thoughts and those restricting thoughts. We do have little snippets of truth that squeak through, but then those truths, they try to influence us to make the changes, to be vulnerable in this environment. And I hear now that song, and I often get it with this card, but I'm going on a bear hunt. I'm going to catch a big one. I'm not scared. It's a beautiful day. I can't go over it. I have to go through it. And that's what it says. It's like, I just have to go through this. And that's what they're telling themselves. I just have to go through this cycle and deal with this cycle. But the truth is, they don't have to. They have to be vulnerable. They have to be honest in all of their environments in order to continue to move towards their highest version of themselves. So it's like they're torturing themselves. Here we have the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. And this is where some of that, again, some of the similarities of Pile 2 is coming through, because they are highlighting closure and the question of closure, because that's part of today's reading is, am I going to get closure in this situation? Are we going to clarify anything in this connection in the future? This does not feel like closure. This person's afraid of losing you. The idea of closing out the cycle, it perpetuates that fear. So this is not closure. They also could be keeping tabs on you. And they could be kind of privy to what you're experiencing. You could have a very paralleled experience to this person. If they're in a commitment, you could be in a commitment, for instance. That doesn't have to be the case, so please take the messages as they resonate. I am reading for the collective, so lots of energy are floating in. But I feel a parallel for someone watching. So the same challenges that they face, you may be facing those same challenges. Two people might be dealing with this crown all lit up, but feeling helpless and feeling vulnerable about what I'm being asked to be able to do or asked to release. It's like neither option feels very easy. How do they truly feel in this present moment, please? It's like they don't want to lose you, but they can't commit to the action they have to take to achieve that closure or clarity. You have the Eagle. I think of like the US, I think of bravery, red, white, and blue. I think of praying as well with the Eagle. So somebody who could pray or somebody who is religious. We have the Panther. They are watching you, Pile 3. Maybe you're not aware of it. They're not making themselves known. And it feels like it's kind of triggering the things that they watch. We have the Vulture and we have the Fire Ant. It's consuming. As I say, with the energy of Van Gogh here, there's like something almost obsessive and consuming about this reflection period. it makes them really, really thirsty for more information. Now the vulture talks about circling and not letting anything go to waste as well. So Spirit's not going to let any of this inspiration go to waste. But again, it's like something circling the death energy. You can see here the crows or the vultures that are circling here. So it's like waiting for something to die. Maybe an environment, maybe a relationship, waiting for something to die before I can express myself. But this, again, is very consuming. You make them rethink a lot of things. And honestly, if you've ever, I got bit by a bunch of fire ants before when I was a kid. I stepped right into their anthill, and nothing got me moving faster than having my foot covered in fire ants. I ran home to try to find water, to find a bucket of water to put my foot in. I ran home. So this consuming feeling that they have is supposed to get them into action. But instead, it's like they're just circling here with the vulture energy. How do they truly feel, please, about pile number 3, in no contact, soulmate and separation? We have here the golden mirror, one-sided relationship, love bombing. And it says narcissistic paradigm, self-absorbed. So take that as it resonates. They may wonder if it's one-sided or tell themselves that. We have the axe. Stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. There's an acknowledgement here too as well upon the 10 of Pentacles with the axe, because I always think of the tree of life. And they could be stuck in a habitual pattern with a current partner, for instance. We do have heartbroken, deeply sad, hurt, separation, breaking up, feeling lost, grieving and mourning. And it says happiness, expansion, joy, enjoying each other equally in oneness. So they feel like the solution to their heartbreak, the solution to their dissatisfaction in life is this connection. We do have be lighthearted, things coming to light, adapting, changing, or healing on the back of that deck. This could be a good indication of what to expect in the future. But let's get some message cards here to see what sort of thoughts and feelings they've been having about pile 3, please. I have been hurt so many times before, the 4 of Pentacles. Sometimes I see that as a concern for my home. I also feel like you could be living far apart from this person or in different cities. I've never felt like this before. So even if there is an attachment to home, they have compared it to the feelings that they have about you. And they feel like they were meant for you. What do you even see in me? Do you feel the same way? I feel like this person likes to get their, they like to get their ego boosted a little bit by this connection. They like to fantasize about what you're feeling, and they want to think that you're right on track with them, that you feel the exact same way. I watch you, I just can't help it. And the truth of this connection came after. Back of the deck says, let's just do it. It says here, I'm not waiting a second longer, but it's coming in the reversal. I don't normally read these in the reversal, but this could be an indication of their desire for closure or clarity and their ability to create their closure or clarity. How do they truly feel in this present moment for soulmate and separation, please? Past life connection. Could be in previous past lives, but also the past of this situation if somebody has grown and matured. I'm worried that this is all in my head, but I am haunted by us. Feels very obsessive. I don't know how to tell you the truth. And I knew the first moment I saw you. I can't come forward right now. And I can't make the first move towards you, but you take my breath away. So let's get some indication from Spirit about the future of this connection, what you can expect. Will pile 3 get closure or clarity in the future of this situation? 10 of Cups coming in reversal. On the floor, we have the Nine of Cups. We have the Six of Swords. The Fool. The Two of Wands. Back of the deck we have the Eight of Cups and we have the Sun. Pile 3, I do feel like this person does have intentions towards clarity with you. It's part of the plan. It's part of the plan to get closure. It's like they want to talk about the past. I actually want to get a different deck here as well. They want to talk about the past, Pile 3, and they have intentions of doing that. They just don't feel like at this moment in time they can come forward at this moment because they don't have anything to offer you. Like there's this hesitation. Yeah, there's the Temperance. They're trying to keep things in balance in this moment. And with the Ten of Cups in the reverse position, they could be waiting for like relationships to break down. They could be waiting for divorces, foreclosures. Like they just could be waiting for things to break down. They want to talk to you about like desires and wishes and like crush energy from the past. But it's part of the plan. They just feel like it's necessary to walk away from something first. But they have intentions towards clarity. Now, even better, they say that if you were the one to reach out to them, even better. But there would still be some of these obstacles. They still feel like they would have to be cautious in how they approach their practical steps. But it's a part of the plan to create clarity. Just in this moment, they're waiting for, like, to be honest with you, you can even see here the Sun, the Six of Swords coming out of the deck. But here we have the Wheel of Fortune with the Ten of Pentacles in the center of your reading. And they have compared their current environment to you, and they have left them feeling very wanting. So emotionally, they're not feeling it there, and they're not feeling very emotionally fulfilled in that environment. That should be their key or their clue to start that process. But it almost feels like they're holding back because they're waiting for like the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment, the perfect reason. They may wait in perpetuity if they keep holding on to that ideal scenario, but their intentions are to create clarity between the two of you. Advice, please, for pile number 3. Appreciate the beauty inside and all around you. I also saw free yourself of guilt and shame coming through as well. They're really asking the Divine Feminine specifically in this case. You could be an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, but they're asking here about growth from the time you were young to this period in time. They're talking about a lot of growth within you and how you're a very different version of yourself than you were in the past, perhaps when you knew this person. And so they want you to understand that spending time in reflections now while the distractions are limited will be serving you when you make decisions in the future of this connection. We have you will overcome any obstacle and accept your follies and find the teaching in them. We also have take time to play. This came out in pile 2. As I said, there's a lot of similarities there. There could be a message waiting for you, but I do feel like there could be further clarity in the situation. They have intentions to create further clarity, but I also feel this momentum from the Divine Feminine to overcome your own obstacles perhaps before this clarity comes in. So you might gain your own independent closure here and face your own fear of loss. There's a determination, resilience in you that Spirit says you may achieve that before this person comes forward, which will leave you with a different set of options about how you want to accept the information that comes in from this person. But I do feel like reunions are perhaps in store for you in the future as well. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. The last thought this person had about pile number 3 in the bowl. The Strength, Leo energy, the Death energy. The last thought they had about you was kind of a overwhelming thought. It wasn't anything new. It was an inspiration. It was a thought that led to them, that tests them a little bit, because this thought perhaps was very sexual, very fiery, but it was supposed to inspire change. And there was a hesitation to do that. So it was a thought that made them really, really want to surrender to you. Again, could have been a very thirsty thought, but then they got triggered by the work that is necessary for that outcome to come into fruition. And that's where they're hesitating to end something, to begin a new cycle. We do have the ice pick, I think, of the Queen of Swords and chipping away at a cold exterior. We have just be. We also have here the horse, the freedom of choice. We have the marijuana charm. The love between a grandmother and a granddaughter is forever. We have N, J, and I as your initials today as well, pile 3. Pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. Your guides are walking with you no matter what path you choose to take here. If you would like to be entered for your chance to win a free reading, please drop your comment below and hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you're chosen the winner. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and I do update that shop daily, so keep checking back. It does sell out quickly, but it does get updated on weekdays. So I hope that you have a beautiful day and you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage.